Hey gamers, Melkor6925 here, bringing you another Clash Royale video. This is going to be another deck spotlight, and it's going to be focusing around the Royal Giant. That's right guys, it's another Royal Giant deck, but this deck has been very successful for me. So first, let's have a look at that deck. No surprise there guys, it contains the Royal Giant. It also has one of my staples, the Elixir Collector. Another card I use on a very regular basis, the Goblin Hut. We have the Barbarians, again, near enough another staple card for me. We have Goblins. We have the Minions. It's a card I haven't used very much in the past, though it is a card I should utilise much more. We have the Fireball, and we have the Spear Goblins. So let's have a look at how this deck has been performing. So I did lose my last battle, but if you have a look, victory, 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 another defeat, victory, 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 defeat, victory, defeat, victory, 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 victory. So overall, this is a very solid deck and works very well against players of similar level. So let's have a look and see which replays we are going to go through today. We're going to have a look at our last victory where we won 3-0. Now the guy actually did quit out at the end when he realised he wasn't going to win. Not something I like to see, but unfortunately it does happen. So let's have a look how it goes. Now luckily this is a decent starting hand. I do have the Royal Giant and I do have that Elixir Collector. So he's going to stick down his Hog Rider. So I'm going to drop down my minions just to take it out. Now unfortunately he's going to do a bit of damage to my tower, but that's an exchange I'm willing to accept. Unfortunately my minions won't get to that tower. Oh well. So down goes that Elixir Collector, and it's time that we want to start taking out our opponent's Valk. So we stick our Barbs in front. Now unfortunately they are going to take some damage from that Valkyrie, but we are going to take out most of those troops. Now it's time to start our push with the Royal Giant. So the Royal Giant, then we'll drop down those Goblins, which are going to take out that cannon and go straight onto that tower. Now those Goblins are the key to this deck working really well. The Royal Giant will take up the pressure, but them Goblins will go in from behind the Royal Giant and go straight for that tower, dealing some significant damage to it. That is one of my big plays with this deck. Every time I play the Royal Giant, I always have those Goblins, because once the troops or once the tower's locked onto that Royal Giant, you can send those Goblins in to do the bulk of the damage, and it works very well. So drop those minions in so they can't obviously be taken out. And then we're going to start a second push down this left side. Now I like to have that Goblin Hut at the back, because not only does it deal damage to the tower when it's not being defended as it is now, but also it provides a distraction for any troops that come in as well. Plus it gives a bit of support for damage dealing as well. So in goes that Fireball. We've got our Barbarians up front and the Spear Goblins at the back. We're going to take down those archers, and then we're going to move straight on to this tower. A very well placed zap spell, leaving our opponent with 0 elixir though. In goes the Royal Giant. Again, those Goblins behind to take out our opponent's Goblins, and they are just going to absolutely destroy that tower. Now it's about this time I think our opponent has decided that it is near enough game over, but we'll have to see. So down goes the Minions. There we go. All of our troops go in just for an easy 3-star. Now our opponent did give in there when we lost that first tower. I think he realised he was going to lose, but end of the day guys, just play it out till the end. How are you going to learn to defeat certain cards if you don't stick it out? So that was that one. Let's have a look at what else we've got here. Let's have a look against a completely different type of deck with a balloon and freeze spell with some level 10 Barbs and that baby dragon, which can prove quite troublesome to this deck. Now this was a 2-1 victory. So again, another good starting hand. I've got the Barbarians, which I like to have, and I've also got the Elixir Collector and the Royal Giant, and then Goblins as well. So all 4 cards can work well in a starting hand, depending on how you like to play it, either on offense or defense. So as you can see, we both put down those Elixir Collectors, giving our opponent a thumbs up for playing at the same time. I always like to do that. So now it's time to start our Royal Giant push. So we're going to drop the Royal Giant at back so we can get a bit of a push behind. Now he is going to put his Barbarians down first, I think, at the back. Unfortunately, he didn't really have many other options at this point. So I'm going to drop down my Minions to try and take down those Barbarians. But unfortunately, our opponent does have arrows. So in go my Spear Goblins. In go my normal Goblins as well to try and take them down, just as our Royal Giant does a bit of damage to that tower. Unfortunately, we didn't do much, so we're going to use that Fireball to take that Valkyrie down to low health and those Barbarians as well. So our opponent now is continuing his push down the left-hand side. He has that dragon and that balloon coming straight at me. Unfortunately, I don't have that many air troops, so I'm going to try and do a bit of a counter push here. I dropped the Royal Giant down to try and distract that dragon. Unfortunately, it didn't work. So we do, unfortunately, get their tower down to half health, but ours is down to 2-3-5. At this point, we are not in a very strong position, and we are behind on Elixir as well. So we take down those Barbarians, and we're starting a little push of our own. Our opponent is going to drop that Valkyrie on our troops, unfortunately doing some serious damage. But we are going to get the Valkyrie down, and we are going to start chipping away again at that tower thanks to that Barbarian Hut. So down goes that Elixir Collector, same as our opponent. So as soon as that goes down, we know they're low on Elixir as well. So at this point, guys, our opponent's got 804 and we've got 235. We're going to drop down that second hut, and then we're going to continue waiting to build our attack. Now, unfortunately, it does use the Fireball. Unfortunately, it didn't place it very well, only getting our tower down to 25 health. We're going to use our Fireball to take out their Barbarians as we take down that first tower. So we're going to do some damage to that Elixir Collector, which is good. Our opponent isn't using his Elixir very well here. So down goes our second Elixir Collector. And now we are just going to push down this opposite side as we go. We're going to drop that hut down as more of a distraction than anything else. So we're going to drop down those Minions as well to take out that dragon, and then we're going to push down this right hand side. So down goes the Royal Giants. Unfortunately, we are going to lose that tower on the left hand side to those arrows, unfortunately, but at this point we're still in a strong position. That was a waste of a Fireball. That was my own fault. So down goes another hut, so we need to protect this tower. Now we are in a losing position here still. Fortunately, our opponent is coming with that dragon balloon combo, which is working very, very well. So I drop my Royal Giant in the centre to get the damage on that tower as quick as possible. He drops his Barbarians. I use the Fireball not to protect the Royal Giant, but to take out their attack. Now he uses his to take out all three of mine, doing some serious damage to our tower. So we are only just ahead at this point with them having a massive push. My Giant goes down though because I know I can quickly take it out. Taking it down with seconds to spare, leaving us with 632 health, but they was on the attack. So a solid 2-1 victory. So guys, we'll have a look at just one more replay. Let's have a look here. We will go with a 3-1 victory against the Hog Rider. So we're going to watch this Hog Rider one. Level 7 Hog Rider, but no Elixir Collector. But he does have that cannon, and he does have the Inferno. And unfortunately not the greatest starting hand here. So more than likely I'm going to drop those Goblins down to take out, or the Barbarians down really, to take out that Hog Rider. Now unfortunately that spell does obviously slow our troops down, but we are going to take out those Minions, though we have taken quite a bit of damage to our tower. So at this point we are slightly ahead because I'm putting that cannon down on the Elixir Chase, so we are going to get our Elixir pump going. Now we're going to put our Goblin Hut down on the right hand side, so when they try and do a push down this side, we've got those troops there as distractions, but also it'll be a bit of damage against that Hog Rider. So I see that our opponent is going for the Elixir Collector, so it's time to start my push when they're low on Elixir. Down goes the Royal Giant. Now as you can see, he does have that Inferno tower. Bloody Inferno. So unfortunately that does go down quite quick, and that Zap spell takes out the rest of those troops as well. So at this position we're not in a solid position, though we do have the advantage with the Elixir. So we're just going to wait our time to build up our Elixir, get that second Elixir put down, and see if we can push on with a very fast Elixir growth. So down goes that Hog Rider and the Minions, so down go our Barbarians to take that out. Our Minions take out his Minions, and then we can now start our push down this right hand side. We have our troops up front, so we're going to drop behind that. We're going to drop our Royal Giant, and then again those goblins. So those goblins take out our opponent's goblins, and then they're going to try and take out that cannon. All the time we're doing steady damage to that tower with that Royal Giant. That tower is just being melted with those spear goblins and that Royal Giant. 1 crown to nil at this moment in time, and we do have the advantage on the elixir. So down goes that Elixir Collector, down goes those Barbarians onto that Hog Rider, and it's time to continue this push. Now that Fireball unfortunately wasn't necessarily the greatest, and it didn't hit our Barbarians. So those Barbarians are going up, we get that second Goblin Hut down, and then we get the Royal Giant in front, followed by those Spear Goblins to try and distract that Inferno Tower, which I knew was coming. So we're going to take out that Inferno Tower. All the time we are slowly chipping away at the Crown Tower. Now as you can see, we've got troops in front, we've got troops behind. That tower is now down to 700. We've got 30 seconds left. So in goes the Barbarians to take out the cannon. Another Royal Giant. We're just continually getting the troops onto the ground. Again, trying to take out that Inferno Tower so we can get the last few hits in on that tower. Tower's still at 441 health, and there's only 10 seconds left in the game. Minions go down. Now luckily for us, our opponent uses that Fireball to take out that tower with 1 second left to go, meaning we have enough time now to go for the 3 crown victory. So what we do, Barbarians go down, Goblins go down, and that tower goes down as well. 10 seconds into overtime. Now that would have been a 1 crown victory, but our opponent decided that he wanted to get that tower, which you can't blame him, but it did help us get the 3-1 victory. So guys, that is the Royal Giant deck that I'm currently using. Now don't get me wrong, I know some people hate seeing the Royal Giant, but it is still a very, very good card, and utilised well is very good on offense, but it can easily be countered. My favourite counter to the Royal Giant is either the Minions or the Barbarians. Both work very, very well against it. So that's it guys, so that's the deck I'm currently using, which involves the Royal Giant, the Elixir Collector, the Goblin Hut, the Barbarians, the Goblins, the Minions, the Fireball, and the Spear Goblins. So guys, that's it from me. If you like what you see, comment below, let me know. If you've not subscribed guys, do me a big favour and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you gamers next time. Take care.